Welcome to today's podcast. On this episode, we are collaborating with the No Niche Network and Flair Marketing.
Hello, I'm Dario. I'm the founder of Flair Marketing here in Napa and soccer player as well, and I'm really happy to be here.
We're so excited for us to be able to join you today. I am Mackenzie Payne, the owner and founder of Fresh Start, as well as the chair of Young Professionals Napa Valley.
And I'm Carly. I'm the owner of the 87 collection and the marketing chair of Young Professionals Napa Valley.
Yeah.
Well, we will just dive right in. And Dario, can we ask a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
First, maybe give us a little bit of just a brief background of kind of who you are for people that are kind of meeting you for the first time right now.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I want to say it's so cool to be here at 1 p.m. on a random on a random Wednesday. We are three people that decided to take a different route. We don't work for someone else, or we didn't go through the corporate route. We all started our own business.
Yeah.
So that allows us to be here on a random Wednesday at 1 p.m.
It's a dream.
So
Hopefully we can knock this out quick because I'm getting hungry. But yeah, a little bit about me. Grew up in Madrid, Spain, so I'm from a big city. Napa gets a little bit small sometimes, but I love it. And when I graduated from my master's, as I just said, I didn't want to take the usual corporate route. Mm-hmm. I love investing on myself, and I think I had great ideas that I wanted to give a try.
Yeah.
So I decided to start Flair Marketing. I saw kind of like a need. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, especially in Napa, there is a lot of family-owned businesses that obviously when you own a business, you gotta take care of different things like payroll or inventory or running the show essentially. So you don't really have time to focus on your online presence. So I saw a need there for some businesses, and we decided to get it going. It got traction right away.
Awesome.
And here we are now, year and a half after. Living the dream. Yeah.
That's so
Very
exciting.
cool. You answered a couple of my questions just in that already, but one of them, maybe dive a little bit deeper of like what really made you want to do something on your own versus kind of take a corporate role? Because I know, although there's for sure benefits to being on our own, like being here at 1 p.m. on a Wednesday, but there's also a lot of challenges with that too.
Yeah, so first of all, I like having freedom. I think it's one of the most important things in life. I also think that time is the most valuable thing we have, more valuable than money or anything like any materials or however you say that. And also my family is not in town, so I like the fact that I have the freedom to go back home and visit my family and spend time with them whenever I want or whenever they request me. And if I was taking the corporate route, they tell you when you have the freedom to do the things you love.
Totally.
Right.
So for me, being a business owner gives me the freedom and allows me to do the things that actually make me happy. So that was the main reason. I gave it some thought and I realized that I'm good at selling and I like doing social media and branding, and I think I have a pretty good taste for aesthetic things. So I dove into that route after, obviously learning about digital marketing in college. And that's essentially why I just love the freedom to be able to do the things I love and travel and spend time with my people.
Yeah. When you decided that you wanted to start your marketing company, what was your strategy, or how did you get your first clients? What was that process like?
So that's funny. We were pretty clueless, honestly.
That's how we all start. Completely clueless.
So we honestly, we started knocking doors.
Really?
We went to Calistoga, Santa Lina, Napa, and we went to every business, and we
that's
told
awesome.
we told everyone about us,
Yeah.
about our lives, about what we could do for them, and got traction with a couple clients, and then used those successful stories and those case studies to then get more clients through ads or email marketing, or I mean, you guys know here in a town like Napa, word to mouth is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
So if you do a good job or a decent job for someone, and people talk and people are like, hey, your website looks really good now, like, oh, I hired these guys from Flair, they are really nice, really honest, or it goes the opposite way as well. If you do a bad job for someone, or if you are not honest, or if you are a bad person, essentially,
Definitely.
you're gonna be cut short in a town like Napa. So to answer your question and simplify, we were knocking doors and talking to everyone.
That's awesome.
And
Did you have a team already, like when you had the idea, or were you on your own knocking those doors?
so I started the company with one of my teammates, Sam.
Okay.
And knocking doors was successful, I think, because we both had an accent. So it was, for real.
So it was charming. People were like, oh, they're
Okay.
sweet.
So most of the conversations went like, okay, I don't care about what you just said. Tell me where you're from and what you're doing here.
Right.
So that was kind of like the icebreaker.
Yeah. So they wanted to
That's
learn more
really
about
nice.
you personally.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So then when we were able to share our story, they would more likely listen to what we were trying to offer.
Right.
And I mean, also when working with small businesses, that negotiating and convincing and selling your service is a lot harder just because the budget is not there. So it's not like a medium-sized company that understands the value of digital marketing but doesn't have the time to run it themselves. They are just like, okay, here's my budget, these are the deliverables, get to work, give me results, we'll check back in 2 weeks. With a smaller business, they are like, okay, this is, I'm cutting my gym membership for you to run my social media. I'm gonna be really particular, and I know what I want.
Real.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it took a lot of back and forth. And when we first started, I was still in school. Sam had a full-time job at Kendall Jackson. I was working at a tasting room downtown. So we were doing this on our free time.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So when did you know that you could make kind of the jump from this being a part-time thing to your full-time position?
I think it was, we were getting really busy. We started like hiring people. We had a team. And I just remember that I wasn't being like present when I was at my job. And I thought that was unfair. So I was just doing Flair tasks while I was getting paid by other company. And I thought that wasn't fair and cool for my former boss, who I consider my family. So I also thought that if I really wanted to make this bigger, I had to take some risks and invest my time totally on that. So that's kind of when I decided, when it got traction and when I realized, oh, I can, make a living of this, I decided to go full-time, which was maybe like a year ago. So 6 months into Flair.
That's really great. Wow.
Yeah, that's really
awesome.
cool. And then how was that jump from just being you and your friend Sam to having more employees? How did you know that when that was time?
Well, that's, I would say, is one of the hardest things from owning a business. Just, managing people, and especially from a super young figure that I am, you cannot be super, you cannot have a lot of authority, or you cannot be super bossy with the people you work with, just because you don't have that experience or that title to back you up. So I think the way I approached it, and I still do, I'm really close with the people I work with, and I try to help them out and try to make them understand that I'm hustling just like them. We are in a different position, but if they stick with me and I win, they'll win with me. So that's kind of my approach. I've been so lucky with the people I work with, honestly.
That's awesome.
I never had any problem, and I mean, I like to think I'm good at communicating, so I always try to tell them how I feel, and I want them to tell me how they feel, so
Yeah.
everything flows pretty good, and it's been flowing pretty good so far, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
That's so good. Did you ever, or do you ever experience imposter syndrome, or like, do you ever feel not qualified or for what you are doing, or
Yeah.
and how do you manage that if you do?
Well, that was a new term for me, imposter syndrome. You guys in America love making up like terms and stuff.
Yes, we do.
So that wasn't something I was familiar with growing up, but now I understand what it means.
Yeah.
And I would say I never felt imposter syndrome, honestly. But I mean, if you own a business every single day, you question yourself if this is the right thing, if you are on the right track. So you feel clueless every day, but you just gotta get through that day, and feel clueless again the next morning. Get through the day, and then at some point, I guess people with more experience share this with me. You see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you feel more comfortable with what you are doing, but I never felt imposter syndrome. I just feel clueless sometimes.
Yeah. I so feel that. I feel like I love, like every day it's like, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
How do I know that this is the right thing to be doing?
Yeah.
And it's like trial and error. You just do it, and if it fails, then try something else. And if it works, then it works.
Yeah, exactly.
So you are also a soccer player for the 1839 local soccer club.
Yeah.
So we know nothing about soccer. Sorry. We're gonna learn this year because we're gonna come to the games. But tell us a little bit. Carly, do you know anything about soccer?
I know nothing. I know that there's a goal, there's people on the field, and they kick a ball, and that's about it.
Okay.
That's my extent.
So what's your kind of role
Good job.
there on the team?
I see you guys know the basics.
Yeah.
Very basic.
So to be honest, I don't think today is the day to dive into the soccer rules.
Okay.
It's a little bit off topic and off brand.
Okay.
But yeah, I play for the local soccer team. We have a big following in the valley. We usually play spring, summer, and fall, so all year around.
Yeah, wow.
We recently just joined a new league, which we are one of the founders clubs. It's a national league.
That's so awesome.
So teams
Cool.
all over the country is called the League for Clubs, and we're gonna start playing March 22nd. Is our first home game,
Oh, great.
which
We will be there.
Yeah.
We're gonna go.
young professionals Napa Valley will help us out that day, and we'll be there.
Sure will. We'll bring all of our young professionals.
Nice. And yeah, I mean, I've been playing for the team for a couple years now, and I love the game, and the fact that the community supports the team, and we feel like we are a big family, and to see all these people coming out to our games and support, no matter if there is rain or cold or heat, and it's cool. And then my favorite part of the year is summer season, because we have a men's team and a women's team, so some nights we do a double header.
Oh, how fun.
So it's great for people to bring their families and hang out the whole afternoon.
That's so fun.
Have their kids run around. We have a mascot who is an alligator.
Oh, how fun.
That's so great.
His name is Napa Snappa.
I love it.
And yeah, it's just fun, and I mean, to be able to play the sport that I love
Yeah.
in front of an average of 800 people a weekend, it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is so
yeah.
cool. Yeah, you guys definitely have an awesome fan base. I see all the stickers on people's cars everywhere,
yeah.
and I just had a client that I did their home organizing, and they had your gear everywhere.
Oh, nice.
So
it was
cool.
very cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So we're excited to come join for a game and see you all play.
Yeah, of course.
Is there anything from soccer, like lessons in soccer, or just, being an athlete in general, that you feel like has helped you in your business or has applied at all?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like teamwork. We are used to share efforts all the time.
Yeah.
And the thing about soccer, and I mean, maybe as any other sport, if someone is not performing or doing their job, that affects the whole team.
Oh, absolutely.
A business is kind of like that. If one of the members of the team is lacking or not performing as good as he or she should, the team is gonna be affected. So I guess, team effort, maybe leadership. Now I've been playing for the team for a couple of years, so I'm one of like the older guys. So I have more of, or I like to think I have more of like a leadership role. So that helps when running a business.
Yeah.
And I also help the team with the marketing. So I recently came on as a marketing manager and sales manager, so I help with the partnerships across the valley, just like
That's
the one
really
Yeah,
cool.
very cool.
That's
just like
awesome.
the one we did with young professionals Napa Valley. And I mean, I'm focusing on ticket sales, getting more butts in seats, and finding ways to create more engaging content for people to share and learn about the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like a lot of things apply. So that's so cool. Like building those foundations. And I think it goes to show too how many things, just outside things and skills you can learn about business that may not be business related. I think a lot of people think, well, I've never done a business, so I don't know how to. But it's all these other things that you learn from other parts of your life, other things that you're doing, like school or clubs or any of that, that you learn and you can apply.
Yeah, and I mean, I always say this, but everyone who started a business for the first time never done a business before.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, all the journeys are different, but that first
all
company,
new.
it's the same for everyone. Obviously, you can be more prepared based on your education and your background and maybe how you were raised, or maybe the people you looked up to. If you're coming from a business family, obviously you're gonna be growing up in an environment that's business oriented.
Right.
But the journeys are pretty similar at the beginning. Everyone is lost. Everyone is doing that for the first time. So my advice would be to just do it.
Yeah.
One of my favorites to follow is Layla and Alex Hormozy, which I know we've chatted about before, but they're a great example of someone who started having no idea what they're doing, like super broke, didn't even come from families of business, and now they have like $1 billion, or I think they're close to $1 billion business.
That's so wild.
And they like own a building in Las Vegas and have just a great team, and they're really good ones to follow. But an inspiring thing and a perfect just example of you really don't need a whole lot to start. You just got to start.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So how do you guys know each other?
Great
Are
question.
you guys are both from Napa?
Yes, we're both from Napa.
Okay.
We went to middle school together actually, and knew each other kind of through mutual friends in high school, hung out, but we were never really friends in all of that time. A little bit
in
but
middle
not,
Oh, a little bit in middle school, and then we fell apart for years.
Yeah. And so we were never like really great friends.
Yeah.
And then when it was actually my first brainstorming session for young professionals, Whitney, who I had started it with, had said, you need to bring 5 people to this meeting to get on board for this idea. And so that day of the meeting, I happened to be getting lunch or coffee with Carly, and you can kind of say your side of that.
Yeah. I was feeling really like lost in what I'm doing and like didn't know what to do. I was working for a website and development company, but I wanted to have my own business, and I really didn't know where to go with that and how to start. Like, I just didn't know what to do. So I messaged Mackenzie and I was like, you look like you have it all together. Please help me. Give me advice. What do I do? But also looking for a young professional, someone that I could relate to, or yeah.
Okay, what's for our audience? What's Young Professionals Napa Valley?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Young professionals.
And who's
Napa Valley.
Whitney?
and who's looking for
Yeah.
well, Whitney, actually, if you haven't watched our previous episode, we just interviewed Whitney, so you can learn more about her. But Young Professionals Napa Valley is a networking group that we started in 2021. And we host monthly mixers just to have people in the valley that are able to connect to each other and talk with each other. And it came from a need of, at this time when we first started it, I had first started my organization company, Fresh Start. And I was 18 when I started the company. And so there's a lot of challenges that come with that, just even now being young entrepreneurs, but things that, some of my mentors couldn't relate to because they were, older and just were facing the same challenges. And so I just really wanted this group, or just one person to be able to talk to and bounce ideas off of and just collaborate with. So I had found a young professionals group in Sonoma County. So I was attending the young professionals mixers in Sonoma. So all the way, which is about, 20 to 40 minutes, somewhere even in Healdsburg and places farther. But I kept telling my professor who I was close with, we need this in Napa, we need this in Napa. And so she had connected me with Whitney, who is the Yountville Chamber CEO. And so Whitney and I got together and she said, great, I'll do this if you bring me some people that will be on board. And I was like, I don't know any, this is why I'm doing it. I don't even know anyone. So I made a couple calls to people I had met maybe one time. I'm like, hi, this is crazy. Will you do this with me? And everyone was so on board. It was really cool. And I think she said, bring 5 people, and 15 people showed up to that first meeting, which was
incredible.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And then we started our steering committee from that. So a group, I think the core team ended up being 8 to 10 people at the beginning. And we just met every couple weeks to build the program and what it would look like. And that was September of 2021. And then we had our first event in March of 2022. So we're about to celebrate 2 years of being launched.
Okay, very cool. That's really impressive. Congrats.
Thank you.
I'll be there at the 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. Yeah, we have 400 members now.
Which is incredible.
Wow.
Yeah, we keep saying since day one, the first event we ever had, people were saying, I had no idea there were this many young people in Napa. And that just, people keep coming. So,
Okay, and what's been the strategy to recruit young professionals?
Yeah. Honestly, we haven't had much of a strategy.
No.
We just host the events. I think we've kind of nailed the event marketing piece of it. We send about 3 emails before every event, starting 1 month ahead, and then 2 weeks, and then a couple days to invite people. And then on Instagram, we follow a similar cadence of that. But I think just that it was such a need in Napa that once people knew about it, they just really latched on and started coming. And once, and like you said, just in Napa, word of mouth is so strong. And it's too something that you bring your friends to. So one person brings a friend, next time they bring another friend, and it just grew quickly.
If I'm a young professional in Napa, why should I join a Young Professionals Napa Valley? What's the value?
Yeah, for sure. The value is just meeting other people and networking. So, what is networking? Why is it important? Just meeting other people and doing business with other people is really important. Like you were saying earlier, having that personal connection to someone is really important. If I need someone to do marketing, I'm going to ask my friends first, Carly and Dario. If I need financial advice, I've hired a financial advisor through Young Professionals because I met him through there, and we're friends now. So just building those connections and trust with other people, and also gaining knowledge from other people as well. Just even here right now, we're learning podcasting. We wouldn't be able to learn all of these things and learn from each other if it weren't for making these connections. And I think all of us have things to share, and we can just help each other out. We're all better off when we share our knowledge versus keeping it to ourselves.
But you guys do workshops as well, or bring guest speakers to
Yes,
to the
we
mixers,
do.
right?
Yeah.
And we actually our next professional development mixer is actually on networking and how to network and what
Yep.
the value is on that, which is going to be really, really exciting.
That one is the one at Deuces Market?
Yes, at
Yeah,
this
I'll be
market
there.
on February 25th.
Yep.
We have an executive coach coming. Her name is Mary Resick, and she is doing a workshop, really fun programming on the art of networking and just how to do it well and why it's important.
Yeah.
So definitely a good one to attend.
Nice. Yeah. I think I can make it, so I'll be there.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay! Yeah, and we do some other things too, just professional development as they come up. Your team owner, Eric Housley, did one for
Yeah.
us on just owning businesses in Napa and how to build. So we just, want to continue to foster that growth and knowledge with people, using experts to teach us so we can just learn more.
Okay, so just to kind of start wrapping this up, and you guys can take turns to answer, but where do you see yourself in a couple of years? What's your, I guess, short-term goal with your business and with your life in general?
Yeah. Want to go first?
I think everything that I'm doing just amplified, I guess.
Yeah.
I hope that Young Professionals is bigger. Hopefully we have a larger audience on our podcast. And then hopefully my business, I have can get a full team and amplify what I'm already doing. It's really my goal. Yeah.
I've mentioned it before, but I'm like not a long-term goal person. Like I just see what's in front of me and just keep going with that. I think mostly because things have shifted so much for me in the last few years. I went from owning a business and then kind of unexpectedly went corporate and then really unexpectedly didn't go corporate and didn't know what I was going to do. And now somehow I'm starting a podcast. So truly just have no idea what's in store. But if I were to, guess without any, sudden changes, probably, growing the podcast, growing my business, and growing Young Professionals. Just like you said, kind of just growth in all areas.
Yeah.
And just learning as I go too, and just, I just am a big believer of whatever happens for a reason. So just kind of riding the wave of seeing where everything goes.
Nice.
Beautifully said. I love it.
Great answers.
Thank you.
And last question, what should our audience expect from non-niche podcasts? Can you guys give us a sneak peek on the kind of profiles you guys are planning on?
Yeah, we
bringing?
sure can.
I think that's the beautiful thing of No Niche. We're not looking to have anyone specific. We we want everybody to just join and come on as guests, and like Mackenzie says, like everybody has something to share, and put out any little tips and advice that you have. Like everyone's got something to share, so I think we're excited for that.
Yeah, we definitely want to cover kind of just a wide range of topics. I talked to someone this morning from music industry that wants to join, but health and fitness. Obviously in Napa there's a lot of wine industry things, so I'm sure that'll make an appearance here. Hospitality, just friendship in your 20s, just all kinds of things. Just really, a wide spectrum.
Any celebrities?
Potentially.
Hopefully.
We might have some hookups for that. And if we're bigger, as we grow.
Yeah. Those celebrities might want to come to your podcast to grow their audience.
Exactly.
There we go.
Okay. So thank you guys for tuning in. At least I had a lot of fun.
Yes, it was a great time.
Yeah.
Thank you
so much. This was so fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll run it back whenever
Anytime.
have something else to talk about.
I know. We could probably record 10 episodes right now on all kinds of things.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.